Welcome to the podcast series, Small Business Survival Conversations. Through our weekly conversations, we hope to provide you with strategies and insights, knowledge and expertise to enlighten you as you work to build and grow your business. Here are your hosts, Anna Steinfest and Dr. Michael Troyer.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Michael Troyer, and I'm here with Anna Steinfest.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Anna. Today, we're again doing small business survival conversations, trying to give you some quick ideas that can help you continue to keep your business operating successfully and to survive all these challenges we, of course, always face. So today, the topic is managing that project that needs to get done. That requires some concerted effort on your part. I like something that you and I have looked at in the past relative to making business a little more simple. Do you know those three items that we've talked about, Anna?
Yes, the problem, the solution, and the outcome.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And another way that we can build that into this now is that the problem is that we want success. So what do we mean by success? How do we get to that? Process is, what are the identifying milestones that we have to achieve for this project to get done over time? And then the outcome is a completed project on time. So we have all those challenges when we're facing a project. I used in another podcast the concept of a new office location. And to me, it fits this project very clearly. There's so many things to be done. We want to create that new office. We're going to have some new people, going to have to equip the office, going to have to find the office. But all of it fits into a project that we think is going to advance our business. And it's not something we do haphazardly.
Managing a project, Michael, like you said, is very overwhelming, especially for small business owner. Even a small project can be complex. I know that you're talking about opening a new office location. That is, you have a lot of moving pieces. It's a very complex project. So how do you do it? How do you do it? And we want to give our listeners very easy steps. And we put together 3 very easy steps they can follow up to make sure that their project is successful. Number 1, like Michael said, is you have to define your success.
In my mind, it would be that office is running and is generating an income to pay for the rent of that space. That would be my success if the project is completed in the way we want. But there's so much complications in getting to that point. So what else do we need?
After you have your success defined, like Michael wanted a new office running smoothly, then you start going backwards. You have to put together all the action steps, and then you have to put milestones. What are the major milestones for this particular project, and how are you going to measure progress that you are going and towards your end goal of opening successfully location?
So, for example, I might think that a couple of milestones for me would be if I had a space, I look at 4 or 5 different spaces and I pick one and I negotiate a lease for that having that lease done is a milestone. Because one of the things it allows me to do right away is to start to buy the materials and equipment I'm going to need for that office. I can't do that until I know I have a space and what it's going to look like. Another milestone would be that when that is done, it's somewhere in there, I'm going to need to start hiring 1 or 2 people to run that. And that triggers a bunch of things. We've got to have a way to orient them, train them to what we want them to do and what's the nature of our business. So another milestone is having people in place. Maybe a third milestone is thinking through that, how do I introduce them to the process we use as a company, the production process or the sales process, whatever it might be. Some of those can overlap, but the importance is these milestones have to be met within a certain time frame. If it takes me a year to get that office space running, well, I've lost some money. I've rented it in January, and now finally in December, maybe we'll get some income coming in the door. I don't want that. So the milestones are there to tell us these things have to happen in this time scale in order for us to get this done and not spend a lot of money before we start generating income. So milestones are important.
I'm hoping that our listeners heard you saying all the activities you're accomplishing it under every milestone. So the milestones are a little bit bigger accomplishments you have to aim for, and then all the little activities you have to do, like, for example, the lease. We'll start with the lease. What do you have to do to secure a lease? The search of the market, all these little things, and communication with the real estate agents, and all these little things. So they become everyday activities, and then you can prioritize them. We've talked about another episode about prioritization of these little activities, but the measurement is like the lease has to be secure by, let's say, in 3 months, by first quarter, second quarter. The hiring of people has to be done by this time. So, and then all the activities of hiring people, posting the job, these little things are below the milestones.
And listen to what Anna is doing. She's taking that milestone. It's one is having a space, another milestone is having people. In each case, she broke it down into little steps, little pieces that have to be done within the larger milestone. So before I can have the space, I have to do the research on what's available, what it's going to cost, and where it might be located. Before I hire people, I have to decide what kind of people I need. What positions am I hiring for? So the milestone gets you thinking about all those little pieces that fit into the achievement of that milestone. And then what's the sequence of those milestones? So if you're listening carefully, we're breaking the project down into a little smaller set of milestones. And then the details under each of those milestones helps you organize your thinking and the process of getting to that success. Hey, we have another office open and it's generating income.
And creating a timeline. We've talked about, it's important, like Michael said, hey, I don't want to pay for the whole office for the whole year and then, not having people there. So it's expense and you cannot recover for that. So you have to be mindful, all these little things, these milestones, and the time frame when they have to be accomplished.
And that timeline, the time frame really helps you to think things through. Imagine we're in our current office, Anna and I, and we want to have another location. So we've made the step of hiring all the people we want, but we don't have a space yet because we haven't laid out a timeline. Now we have people standing behind us against the wall, waiting for something to do. And would you empty wastebaskets? Would you draw some pictures for my kids? And what are we going to do with these people? Keep them busy while we find a space for them to work in. That is, the timeline helps you structure this whole process. So figure out what your success is, figure out what the key milestones are, then break them down into finer detail, and then finally lay out a timeline when this has to happen. As I said, some of these things can overlap, so I can set up the training and orientation program before I've hired the people. Probably should. The space maybe that's to come first or the people come first. I'm not sure. You have to figure that out. But you have to do these things and think it through. And project management is that process. That's what we're talking about.
And just to give you the last tip for today is make sure that you plan, execute, and track your project of any size. At this point, you can do that with some automation tools. There is a lot of tools right now. You can Google them. We can tell you like Asana, Monday, Zoho, thousands and thousands of project management system. Right now, you can have access free of charge, very low cost. They will help you stay on track.
And don't be overwhelmed by some of them when they give you so many other tools to use. Sometimes I think it can be overwhelming. How am I going to learn this in time? Well, I love something called a Gantt chart, a GANTT chart. Every one of these tools uses that concept. So you can go online and understand what a Gantt chart is. Go online and use Asana or Monday or one of the others and just use that portion of it for now. Learn how to use the Gantt chart portion. And then later on, if you need to tap into the other tools, they're there. But don't be overwhelmed by learning new software. It doesn't have to be that way. You do need the organization of project management, yes.
It's crucial for small business owners. Thank you, everyone, for listening to us.
You've been listening to the Small Business Survival Conversation podcast. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. And don't forget to join us next week for another episode. In the meantime, hook up with us on our Facebook group at Small Business Survival Tools and Tips. Till next time, thank you for listening.